Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me, episode 161. Today we're going to think differently. Comparison is the thief of joy. Have you ever heard that? Stop and say it out loud. Comparison is the thief of joy. Now just stop and think about that. Do you ever compare yourself? Do you compare yourself with others? Do you compare what you have versus what they have? I mean, think about, comparison is stealing my joy. It's stealing joy that I could have for other people. President Theodore Roosevelt said this. And when I looked up the meaning of this, the definition of it, it took a twist. It's thinking differently. What it said is when you have comparison, when you compare yourself with anything, it leaves you with this feeling of inferiority or superiority. Okay, I get it. I might be feeling inferior with whoever, whatever I am comparing myself with, but superior? To feel superior over the comparison? Isn't that interesting? When I think of sports fans, sometimes there is a comparison, and if we win, then I definitely feel superior, right? But there's an interesting twist to this comparison that I've been experiencing lately. And it's not just me, my husband has as well. You see, about 2 weeks ago, we moved. And for those of you that don't know or don't have a geographical understanding of the Midwest, we moved from the state of Iowa to the state of Wisconsin, about 2.5 hours north of where we lived for 32 years. Now, I grew up here in central Wisconsin. I grew up about an hour east of where we're living now. But this side of the state, we didn't explore this side very often. Actually, I don't ever remember exploring this area when I was younger. So it's truly a brand new adventure for me. So 2 weeks ago we moved and all of our stuff has arrived, and we've probably unboxed, I don't know, I'd say about 90% of our stuff. It's not like organized yet, but it's unboxed. But wow, John and I have really been doing a lot of comparing over these 2 weeks. The first thing that we compared was the sunset. Because we had an amazing spot in Iowa. We had a deck that overlooked cornfields. We had a perfect location for Iowa sunsets. And there's nothing like an Iowa sunset. So right away we're excited for the Wisconsin sunset. And it's pretty, but it's not what it was in Iowa. I'm comparing, right? I'm comparing. Now the sunrises, we're all about sunrise and sunsets. So we got up early, we still get up early. We're all about seeing that sun come over the lake, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But my first thought went to comparing to what we knew, right? Well, then the next thought went to comparing the ground. Isn't that an interesting thing to compare? You see, where we came from, we lived on West Clay Drive, and that totally defined the ground. It was clay. Clay is very thick and mucky when it gets wet, but it holds moisture. My husband had an amazing lawn. Oh, he takes pride over his lawn. I mean, he would mow it in different directions to get different designs. It was weed free. It was dog poop free because he was very OCD about picking that up right away. He had a very beautiful lawn. And we didn't need to water it, well, except this past summer. A drought will cause that to happen. But normally we never watered the lawn because it just held moisture, and it always had enough moisture. Well, here in Wisconsin, there is no clay. It is all sand. Sand. I mean, the dogs are loving digging because it's so everywhere. But I call them Wisconsin lawns. And it's really not a green, lush grass type of lawn. It's just whatever grows underneath tall pine trees. Unless you irrigate. Unless you irrigate 3 times a day, every day. Unless you have an actual irrigation system in your yard. We don't. We are that lawn. My husband is that guy who doesn't have a beautifully manicured lawn. Yet. It's in the budget. But sand is different than clay. So now it's just, God, it's different. We have to figure this out. It's not what we're used to. Okay, the next thing that we started comparing was how we don't have the conveniences of stores. we don't have the conveniences of Menards or grocery stores. Grocery stores are about 10 minutes away. But today I opened the dog food container. Yeah, we need dog food. We don't have a Petco right next door. We don't have a Kohl's or a Bath and Body Works. I needed my Sudsy soap. I love their soap. Thankfully, I have girls who traveled to see me last week and they stopped at the stores that I needed. But right away I'm like, wow, we're not close to much of anything. Oh, and then we went to the farmer's market on Saturday, and yeah, we're not in Dubuque anymore. Dubuque has an amazing, huge farmer's market. And comparison. I'm comparing and I'm stealing my joy. I'm stealing the joy has been stolen away from me because I'm comparing from where we came from. Iowa is amazing, and so is Wisconsin. So why am I doing this? I mean, we are literally in a playground, right? Wisconsin is known as nature's playground. I went paddleboarding the other day. We took a boat ride for dinner the other night. My parents, I saw them 4 times in 1 week. My kids came for breakfast Sunday morning. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to tear up a little bit. I'm not sorry because this is real. This is where I'm at. I've been asked a lot, hey, how have your emotions been after leaving a place, a house that we built, a place that we built our life around? And I've been doing great until I'm realizing, I mean, look at the joy that's being stolen, right? I'm stealing it because I'm comparing. There's no comparison. Iowa is amazing, and so is Wisconsin. So what's happening here? Well, it's a thing in our brain. It's a thing in our brain, and it's called homeostasis. Homeostasis, that's quite a big word, right? But what homeostasis is it's this tendency for our brain to want what's familiar. Our brain craves what we know. It craves that familiar, and this is why people have a hard time losing weight or ending a hard addiction. By the time we realize it's an issue or an addiction, our brain has so connected with it that it doesn't want to let it go, and it will constantly seek for that familiarity. And that's exactly what John and I are feeling right now. That's exactly what we are experiencing. And this is where knowledge is colliding with emotion. I know that this is what's happening in my brain. I know what homeostasis is. I know that I'm craving familiar. I'm feeling, though, almost that overabundance need to have that. I mean, my whole world isn't organized like it was. I don't have a morning routine like I used to. I just, every day for 2 weeks, it's been different, and nothing's connected, and it's almost like a grief process. We're not going to have life back the way it was. We can't go back to our old house, right? And we don't want to. We don't want to. But this is where knowledge is colliding with feelings. And this is where we have to sit in it. Just like if this were an addiction, I would want to kill the addiction, right? I would want to recreate myself, but I'm always being pulled back to what's familiar. Always being pulled back to what was my normal life. My friends, I know I'm not the only one that experiences this, and I know we experience it in different angles of life. Whether it's the death of a loved one, or it's a move, or if it's truly a goal that we have that we want to conquer, like a weight loss or ending of an addiction or whatever it is, please know and understand what your brain is craving. Please know and understand the biological process that's happening that we have to conquer. We have to push through. John and I have to find our new routines. We have to reorganize and redo the bookshelf again, because it's just not in alphabetical order, and redecorate and purge more. It's okay, it really is what I want, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be easy. So remember that comparison is the thief of joy. You might be comparing in a good way, but it's still stealing your joy. I hope this has challenged you. It's challenged me. It's challenged me. I didn't expect to get emotional. I was talking to John earlier, got emotional. I couldn't record earlier because I was emotional. But it's real. It's there. I don't want to steal my own joy. I don't want to steal the joy from where I'm at. I want to be here in the moment, recreating the life that I've chose. My friends, be great. Think about what you really want, what your goal really is. Go after it, but expect some challenges. Push through. You know biologically what's happening. Push through. Don't let comparison steal your joy.